The Seahawks needed a get right game, and it took them until the second half to get it right, but they got it right and they got the win. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show where we love Seattle sports. I'm your host, Mikey, and this is the Seahawks post-game show where in week 10 we went up against the Washington Commanders and we won 29-26. And this was as I said, this needed to be a get right game. And if you watched just the first half, you would not feel like this team was getting right. But they came out strong in the second half and they got right, got the win. Big games from Geno Smith, 369 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, 7 receptions, 98 yards. We have to highlight them right at the top because throughout the year, there has been so much talk. It started with DK, right? He's gotten a couple of penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct or roughing or whatever, right? And so that happens 2 times this year, and then all of a sudden, you hear like this huge group of fans online, and I've even heard him in person going on about how DK Metcalf, he's a headache. We got to get rid of him. You know, we should trade him now because he's still young, so you can get you can get a lot for him. Well, whatever you're gonna get, it's not gonna be, the amount that he is worth. So glad that didn't happen. And then the other thing people have been calling for is Geno Smith to get benched. Now, you've heard me on this show talk about how Geno needs to be better this year, but in no way, shape, or form did it call for a benching. You know, you just don't bench your starting quarterback when you're in the middle of a playoff run and the backup has not proven that they can step in and be that guy. Just wouldn't make any sense at all. And today, again, with that 369 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, sure am glad that Pete Carroll did not bench Geno Smith. All right. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this game a little bit. Again, for me, this needed to be a good, game for the Seahawks. And overall, it was. I mean, look, we scored 29 points. So that was a good game for our offense, right? 20 yards gained. It's going to look good on statistics. Again, there's some things that could have been cleaned up and been better, but overall, you got to be happy with the outcome, especially the way the game ended, right? So let's kind of talk over what happened in the first half here. In the first half, we started out, running some screenplays to Jackson Smith and Jigba. They finally ran some crossing routes. And of course, what happens when you run some crossing routes? JSN is open right in the middle of the field and gets an easy first down because he's that kind of receiver. It was a scary moment here on this first drive as well, where the rookie corner Forbes of the Commanders they say he launched himself, and he did come into helmet to helmet contact with Tyler Lockett, and he was obviously uh, flagged for roughing. And then the call it came in from New York where they were viewing it from the NFL headquarters, and they said he needed to be ejected, so he was ejected. Thankfully, Tyler Lockett ended up being okay and was able to continue later on in the game. Uh, I they were trying to get the screen game going here in the first part of the game. They tried to run a screen to K9 that almost got picked off here. Again, not I'm not going to say like that was like a horrible play by Gino, but it was almost a pick thrown by him. It just didn't seem like it was a very well executed play, and there was, you know, the way that play is supposed to go. Yeah, the defensive lineman's not supposed to be right there. We ended up taking a delay of game on a 4th down, and one that could have looked. It looked like that was going to be a first down. I don't know if the Commanders just realized that the clocks had hit 0, so they didn't try very hard once the ball was snapped. But it sure looked like we were going to get a 4th down conversion there. Unfortunately, we get the delay of game, and then we end up settling for a field goal. All right. Let's go back and forth this week. I've been trying to stick to one side, but we'll go back and forth. So we'll go by drive. So then, defensively on the first drive of their possession, we were aggressive right off the bat, and unfortunately, and Jamal said this in the post game media scrum. He blitzed and he just whiffed. He said it himself. He missed an easy layup, and he certainly did. It looked like he had that sack on Sam Howell there, but he just whiffed, and that gave Howell time to find an open receiver, just like running up the sideline, who then took that for an easy touchdown play, and that was just the 3rd play of their possession. So it was already looking like not so great off the bat. They missed the extra point, so they ended up with just 6 points there. But yeah, I think once that sack was missed, coverage kind of broke down, and the linebackers just didn't kind of see that receiver sinking up the sideline there. So then our next drive, we threw in a little bit more creativity there. We had a misdirection play that was designed for Bobo, so that was good to see. A little bit of something. We had a short screen pass to DK, and then again, where the creativity really needs to come in and really matters to me on 3rd down, we did not see it here. We were still throwing the ball deep on 3rd down, and from what I could tell, it looked like we had a lot of receivers just running deep on a 3rd and medium. I haven't seen the all 22 yet, so I'll be curious to see exactly what the routes looked like on this play. But from what I could tell, just on the angle that they had on TV, it certainly looked like we had our receivers running deep downfield again. I mean, I hope Shane Waldron knows that just because it's 3rd down, you don't have to throw it deep. You can certainly throw it medium. You can throw it just the 4, 5, or 6 yards you need to get the first down. It doesn't need to be 20 yards down the field every time on 3rd down. right? So that being said, we our drive stalls out there, and we have to punt. Then um, defensively on their second drive, hey, we got good coverage downfield, um, and we got a you know easy, quick 3-and-out on them. I mean, nothing even of note on that drive for them. So we get the ball back, and again, trying to get the screen game going. Maybe that's what Waldron decides is what creativity is running screenplays. So we get a screen to Will Disley that goes for 16 yards. So I love it. I mean, maybe they were just trying to take a book out. I mean, a play out of the book from the Browns from a couple of weeks ago. Since it worked so well against them, they thought maybe, oh, let's try to run as many screens as we can today. So it worked against us. Let's see if we can make it work against another team. And it was varying success today, but that was a good one. Disley for 16. Gino did miss a throw on third down to Charbonnet. It potentially could have went for a first down. I'm not going to say it was for sure going to be a first down, even if Charbonnet catches that. But that was a missed throw by Gino. You would hope that he would make a better throw in those situations, just so that the playmaker has a chance to make a play. And again, that would have been a potential another play that they could have converted on third down. That goes nowhere, and again, we settle for a field goal. Let's see here for the next possession for them. They finally start get their pass game going. They're starting to find some spots in the zone, and routes over the middle continue to kill us. Again, from what I could tell, just watching on TV without having seen the all 22 yet, our linebackers, Bobby Wagner, Brooks, they were not good in pass coverage today, and we were just getting killed over the middle. Our pass rush was good on this possession. We even broke up a screen attempt and nearly got an interception ourselves on this one. So, good job on the defense reading that out. And then we ended up giving a field goal up on that drive. Then on our next drive, Smith, on this one, he was just off target. And again made it a quick 3-and-out, just because he was not accurate on that drive. Then we go back to them. Our first on the first two downs of their possession, our pass coverage was tight. And then we got a big blitz on third down, and Leonard Williams came through and got his first sack as a Seahawk. That was good to see. Again, that second round pick, just from what he did last week, and now building on top of it this week, the pressure he was getting up the middle of the field. Definitely worth that draft pick to trade for Leonard Williams, who's looking good so far. That gets us the ball back, of course, and then this was another one where because Gino had already been looking like he was not that accurate today in the first half. He misses a pass that was intended for Noah Fant here, and it looked like it was off target, but they did show the replay a couple times, and it did look like Noah Fant stumbled. coming out of his route there. So I think that was the reason why that pass ended up being as far off as it was. Um, so I'm again, that's the one that's kind of in this in the stat. It's going to go as an incompletion, and if you're just watching the ball in the air, you're probably thinking that's a bad pass from Gino. But if you're watching the whole thing, you kind of go, oh, well, you know, that's just human error. Sometimes a receiver, a tight end, whoever's receiving the ball, they can accidentally run the way. They could accidentally slip. So what can you do? You know? Uh so we uh we missed that one, but then Gino scrambles for a first down. Um K9, he had a nice 13-yard run on this drive to the outside, gets us close enough. Again, we stall out in the red zone, or we stall out as we get closer to the to our end zone, and then we ended up settling for a field goal. Let's see here, and then defensively, next up, Boye Mafe. Yes. On this drive, he's getting pressure. He chases Howell down on a scramble. He knocks down a pass and forces a 3-and-out. So Mafe just continuing to beat pass blocking one-on-one, creating just havoc for quarterbacks back there, and it is fun to see. Now, our next drive, we got 54 seconds left in the half. Charbonnet, 12 yards up the middle. We run a slant to DK, gets 9 yards back after a holding call. Gino holds the ball too long, almost gets sacked. He throws it. It hits like one of our linemen in the back of the leg, but it only went like a yard forward. So intentional grounding is called. There's a 10-second runoff. There was less than 10 seconds left in the half, so that ended the half for us without getting any more points on the board. So that was very disappointing. You know, we had a chance to go into the half with some momentum and then get the ball back to start the second half. Didn't work out that way. So, you know, it is what it is. That was one of the moments in this game where Gino did make a mistake. I think overall, like I said, you got to be happy with Gino's performance. But there was a couple of moments where it was like, oof, just wish he didn't do that, and that's one of them. I wish he would have threw that ball away sooner. That way, we would have stayed in field goal range and at least got a field goal, right? No need to force something and make something happen. Just throw that ball out of bounds once you see that there's nothing there, and then take the points. Right? So that sent us into half. Second half, we get the ball to start. We started with two runs with K9 up the middle, both for short gains, of course. Like I said, K9, that's not his strength. They need to run him, you know, outside the guards, outside the tackles. We don't need to be seeing him run up the middle. It's just not. It's just not working for him. Gino did take a sack here. He was holding on to the ball too long. We go 3-and-out on our first drive of the second half, and then defensively, we gave up a huge play up the sideline, just like the play in the first half. Just nobody covering the receiver. Sneaking his way up the sideline. But Mafe comes up big again here, gets a sack, and this was his 7th straight game with the sack, setting a Seahawks franchise record for most games in a row with a sack. We ended up giving up. We ended up giving. Yeah, we ended up giving up a field goal on that drive. And then offensively, we came out, got a nice first down pass to DK, and then Gino dumps the ball off to K9 on this next play, and just again using that awesome speed that he has, he is able to just outrun everybody 64 yards all the way for a touchdown. You can go back and look. Jake Bobo had a nice block on the sideline over here that helped K9 make it all the way in for that 64-yard catch and run. But my goodness, just that breakaway speed K9 has, it's fun to see on this team. Next up, their next drive, what was of note here was Hal. He's a good runner, so he takes off running on a designed quarterback run. Witherspoon gets in there before Hal goes down to the ground. Witherspoon is able to strip the ball out of Hal's hands, and then Reek Woolen comes over and recovers the fumble, and it's our ball. Again, for us to start out the drive, we're getting penalties on holding, but JSN is able to get a chunk back after a penalty. K9 continues to get stuffed up the middle, and then the blitz gets in the backfield quickly, and Gino gets rid of the ball, and we go 3 and out again. So yeah, he's going to have some incompletions this game, but just again in the second half here, we see him limit the mistakes and say, hey, I just got to take what's there, protect the ball, protect the yards that we have, and our field position, and he's throwing the ball away in the moments where you should be throwing the ball away. So yes, we did go 3 and out, but I liked seeing that Chino was able to handle pressure when there was some. Okay, and not just like he was able to stand in there and make a throw, but that he was using his he was using a football intellect to realize, okay, I just got to throw the ball away here, and realizing that is the best outcome. Yeah, it doesn't gain any yards. It's going to be incompletion on your stat, but for the team, that is the best outcome in that situation. So we ended up going 3 and out, but like I said, that's okay. They get the ball next. They run for the first set of downs, and then they're able to convert on the next set of downs, even with tight pass coverage. Howell was on, the receivers were finding their spots. Then Draymond Jones, he gets to Sam Howell, and then Bobby Wagner gets back there as well to help him clean it up, and they get a big sack. And then in a moment when you need him to, Bobby Wagner came up big, covering, in pass coverage on a 3rd down and 16, and he broke up the catch, and that forces the punt. And we come out with our next drive right away. Boom, first down pass to Lockett. Then boom, another first down play, and it's a run up the middle by Charbonnet for a first down. Then next play, another run up the middle by Charbonnet for another first down. They finally slow us down. Walker comes in, and they try a run with him, and it goes for negative yards. And then we just got like a short 1 yard screen pass to Lockett, and they go for it on fourth down. And I absolutely loved this run by Charbonnet. You got to pick up 1 yard. You got to see what's in front of you and take what's in front of you so you can be sure to get that 1 yard. He read the blocks perfectly. He saw where the hole was. He gets to it, and he ended up gaining like 6 or 7 yards on that run. On our next set of downs, we got nothing going, and of course, we settle for the field goal. That's been the story this year: is just not being able to punch it all the way in once we get down in that area. Unfortunately. All right. Then on their fourth drive, oh my goodness, the tackling, it started to break down. It started to look like it did against the Ravens the week before, where people are just missing tackles. Commanders, they were running for chunks at a time and getting first downs because we're missing tackles and not getting in the backfield. Mafe almost gets another sack, but somehow Howell just got the throw off. He threw it way up in the air. It's basically a little floater going through the air there. And there's, again, over there on the side, just a receiver wide open that and I hate it for my man because I love Bobby Wagner, but Bobby Wagner was supposed to be covering that man. They even pointed it out on the TV broadcast. Yeah, just a bummer, a bummer to see that. You know, I mean, it did look like potentially, again, just a slip. I know it was raining. I know it was wet out there today. But yeah, the pass coverage did not look good for Wagner today, and gave up that touchdown on that play. Then our fifth drive, we need to get it going, right? We need to tie this game up. Gino finally gets locked in. He's hitting passes. He's like on point. He's being accurate with those passes. Again, for some reason they try going up the middle with K9. He's just getting short yards out of it. They get to about midfield. They gotta go for it on fourth down, right? It's not complete, but thankfully, pass interference was called as it should have been. So we get to continue this drive. The very next play after that pass interference, the Commanders have too many men on the field. So now we have our 1st and 5. And then maybe just because it's 1st and short, so they felt like, oh, well, we have a really good situation started already. So let's go ahead and finally run a play that has a variety of routes in it. And what do you know? Lockett gets open over the middle and gets an easy first down. Imagine that. I don't know why they wait till these moments to run these type of plays. Like why aren't they doing it all game? You know? Then K9 is running. He gets a face mask call and another first down plus half the distance the goal. And then again, not very creative here. We've seen the Seahawks do this a bunch this year and it not work out. But they get a sprint out to the sideline. Gino's running towards the sideline. That's why I don't like these types of plays, because it gives your quarterback less options because you're running them towards the sideline while making a throw. But thankfully, didn't matter that I don't like this kind of call in these situations, uh, because they scored the touchdown, and that's all that mattered. They tied up that game, and then our defense, hey, they're coming up big on the fifth drive. They allow them to move down the field. Um, oh wait, no, this was not the drive I'm thinking of. The last one, the last drive here is the drive that we took the lead, right? But then on their next drive, we just the defense was still not looking good, and we just allowed them to move right down the field, and get a touchdown, and they tied it right back up again. Just the pass coverage, over the middle, zone areas that it looks like the linebackers are supposed to be covering are just, it's not getting done to the level we need to see it get done. But thankfully, the next drive we talk about is the last drive to talk about. This was our last offensive drive of the game. We start out with a couple of short passes to Charbonnet. One of these passes he did not get out of bounds. They had to use a timeout. So I'd like to see Charbonnet make sure that he gets himself out of bounds in these type of moments in the future. He is a rookie, so we'll chalk it up to rookie mistake, but that 1 or 2 extra yards is not that helpful when it's running down the clock, when we're up against it. But they had all three, so they used a timeout there. Then we get an awesome slant to DK that gets us all the way to midfield. Then we get another pass to DK. Again, a short pass, kind of over the middle. He gets 25 yards after the catch, runs it all the way down inside the 25-yard line. They spike it to set it up for the game-winning field goal, and Myers comes on, hits it, and we win the game. What a fun game that was. I had a slideshow here that I hadn't that I was supposed to be running this entire time that I didn't have running. Anyways, if you're watching on YouTube, that is. But yeah, so we get the win. Big time win for the team. And fantastic final drive by Geno Smith and the offense and the play calling. Waldron, what is stopping you from calling these types of plays with these types of routes run by the receivers the rest of the game? It is 2023 in the NFL. Receivers, look across the NFL. Tank Dell, you got Puka Nakua, Cooper Cup. You got a lot of guys at the top of the league as receivers who are slot receivers, because it's not 20 or 30 years ago. You can run over the middle of the field and you don't have to worry about your head getting taken off. You got to take advantage of it by calling more plays that take advantage of the athletes we have. We have DK Metcalf, and we see what he can do when you get the ball in his hands. Even on short slants, he can make that 5-yard pitch and catch become a 30-yard gain. Same thing with JSN. We've seen them run some screens for him, but same thing. You can run some slants for him. You can run crossing routes over the middle, and then he can turn that into a nice first down play, a nice 15-20 yard gain. We got to see more creativity. So we get the win overall. Like I said, this needed to be a get right game. Not quite. as right as I wanted it to be, especially that first half. We got right in the second half, but there's still some things to clean up. I mean, Geno accuracy throughout the first half needed to be better. You know, like I said, in the second half, he came out making good decisions, so that was good. I liked seeing that we had a lot more run plays called this game, because that should be the identity of this team is running and then doing play action to set up the pass, and then sometimes because you know, you start being successful with the pass, you can be more successful with the run, especially when you're running play action, because teams really don't know. Okay, well, is it a run or is it a pass right here? All right. So would like to see, still would like to see more improvement and more get right out of the play calling for this team offensively. Tackling, again, that did not get fully right either this week. Started to break down towards the end of the game. They got to figure out a way to make sure that they're wrapping up and making sure tackles for all 60 minutes. All right, let's take a look at the numbers to give us some more context of what happened during this game. Geno Smith, again, like I said, was really good this game. 31 for 47, 66% completion percentage. Again, you're going to say, wow, 16 incompletions, but again, 47 attempts and still 66%. Again, if you're in the upper 60s, that's really good completion percentage for a quarterback. And again, a lot of these incompletions were incompletions you wanted, incompletions that were just throwing the ball out of bounds, getting rid of the ball, making sure you don't take a sack, and living to see the next play. Okay, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rating of 103.9. So very good day from Geno Smith. Rushing wise, Kenneth Walker had 19 carries for 63 yards. Already, I like that number, 19 carries. Charbonnet added another 6 carries for 44 yards, and again, he looked strong while he was doing it. And I just love seeing the running backs involved a lot more in this game. So combined, that's 25 rushing plays, well and much improved over last week. I would like to see it even more than that, but that's the range where we're wanting to hit. We probably want to hit like 25 to 35 rushing plays a game. That would be the real sweet spot for the Seahawks. Receiving wise, we know DK Metcalf had that great game, 7 receptions, 98 yards. Didn't score any touchdowns today, but he was clutch. He came up big whenever we needed him to. And then, of course, Tyler Lockett, just as he always does, he's just, he's that trustworthy guy that can get you what he got you today. 8 receptions for 92 yards, a touchdown. What a great game from Lockett. K9 had that reception, that one reception that went for 64 yards and the touchdown. That's all he needed today. One reception that goes you 64 yards, hey, and a touchdown. You love it. JSN, 4 receptions, 53 yards. It was good to see him out there. Will Disley had the 2 for 22. Charbonnet, again, 4 for 18. And to me, again, just getting the running backs involved. That is the identity of this team. Running the ball out of the backfield, but also just getting the running backs involved. I mean, think about that. We said 25 touches in the rushing game, 4 for Charbonnet, the 1 for Walker. There you go. There's 30. Like I said, 30 to 35. I mean, 25 to 35 touches for your running backs is what you want And between the rushing and the passes that the running backs got in this game, they had 30 touches in this game. Love it. Let's see here. More Bobo. So we got to mention him. 2 for 13. Fant had 2 for 6. Parkinson had 1 catch for 3 yards. Might as well just run through everybody since we were that far down the list already. Defensively today, Bobby Wagner, 10 tackles to lead the team. 6 were solo. Had half a sack, 2 passes deflected, and a QB hit. So, did he give up a lot in coverage? Yes, but again, when the time came towards the end of the game, when we needed him to come up big the most, he did it. He got right and got the pass coverage right in those moments, and made sure that we didn't lose this game. Julian Love had 7 tackles today. Trey Brown had 5. Boya Mafe, gotta mention him. 5 total tackles, 4 solo. The sack, the tackle for loss, a pass deflected. Awesome stuff. Jamal Adams, again, 5 tackles as well. He had a tackle for loss. He whiffed on that sack today, though. Witherspoon, another good game. 5 tackles. Tackle for loss. 5 tackles. 3 passes deflected today. So that was good to see. Woolen had a pass deflected today. Leonard Williams, we know he had that sack today, and he's looking like he's going to be good for this team. Hopefully, we're going to see him, throughout the future. And then we got to mention Jason Myers, 5 for 5 today. The long was 45 yards. Hit 2 extra points, but of course, the thing that mattered most was that he hit the game winner. And then in the post-game press conference, he's giving a shout out to the rookie long snapper, saying that he's snapping the ball perfectly, just as he has been all year, to make sure that he gets off a good kick. So that was good to see, good to hear. And individually, that's everything. Let's take a look at the team. Okay, so overall for the team, 489 yards, so almost 500 yards today with 0 turnovers. You love to see that. 27 total first downs and 30 minutes and 27 seconds for time of possession. So basically 30-30. Now where that comes in is because our third down efficiency was 7 for 15. Could have been better because at one point we were like 2 for. I don't even remember what it was. It was looking like another day where third down efficiency was not going to be good. Thankfully, they got it going again in the second half. Things got going. But if they can really establish the run game and get some more first downs, I think we get that time of possession up, and that helps us win more games and win them by more than 3 points. So again, 30 total touches for the running backs. I'd like to see that continue in the games going forward. Let's see here. I think that's about what we need to mention today. I'm just really happy and excited that we got the win. We needed it after getting just totally demolished last week by the Ravens, and big win for the team. We got another big game coming up against the Rams here next week. Again, this is going to be a big test for us. We still don't know if Safford is going to be starting or not, I guess, but I think it's going to be a big test just because it's a divisional opponent, and they know us. They know us well, so those games are always tough, and it just so happens the type of offense they run is the type of offense that can kill this Seahawks defense. So we'll see if they can make adjustments and get that figured out for this game next week. All right. Let me know what you feel about this game. I know they kept it closer than we were hoping, but you just got to be excited about the win. So let me know how excited you are. We're 6-3 right now. Again, still tied with the 49ers, who also won today. So still in contention to win this division. Again, 6-3. That means that we're on pace for the 12 wins that I said this team is capable of getting. We have a very tough schedule in front of us, so I don't know if we're going to get to that 12 games. But again, you're seeing the talent on this team, and they have the capability of doing it. So if they can play more like they did in the second half of this game, they'll get there. So yeah, let me know how you're feeling about this game. Do you think, you know, I want to know either way. Like, are you just like super ecstatic that we won? Are you happy but feel like, okay, there's still things that need to get cleaned up? Or, you know, I don't know how you would be, but are you still feeling bad about like Gino and DK and think things need to change with the offense and the personnel going forward? All right. And, that's going to be the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit the subscribe button or follow button, whatever you're listening to on podcast. If you're on YouTube, obviously hit that subscribe button, notification bell, leave the comments, share it with your friends. That's all really helpful and appreciated. Make sure, you know, again, just yeah, leaving comments. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. I think is that I want a community to interact with. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and have a back and forth with the listeners here and build a community. All right. Okay, so that is going to be the episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken and breathe fire. So take cover, because with a sea of sound, you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.